Hi and welcome everyone. So this is a personal mini gift for you, which is a new mini series project. It's about routing, which I learned. Germans usually say routing, might be because of the Route 66, but it's routing. So the routing is usually used in projects to if you want to go to a project and launch out of the box a certain view, then you might use routes. But what would happen if you change the hash, which triggers the route to change, and afterwards you create a view which has exactly that route described inside the view controller, and you want to run that initially when you start that view. There might be a couple of routes which you describe in a certain view, and when you launch, you want to start a certain part of that route. So do you really have to grab the hash and figure out what to do? Or is there a smarter way? So let's take a look into that, shall we? So for today, I kind of created a Fiddle, which should give you a pretty good idea on how routing works overall, but today we want to add something special, which is adding a pop-up, and when starting that pop-up, we want to run the current route. So let's take a look at that. My project starts here with on launch, just add the global route, which has the unmatched and so on. If you want to have more information about all these things, how global routes and so work, just let me know. We can do another mini series about that. You're welcome. So, but for this project, we have the main router, which adds certain saved and so on. So if I click saved in here, we do have saved and the number, and something should happen then. But we do not have a route set in here for our pop-up. So if I click in here, it says pop-up, and I'm getting an error in here. So what would be more error prone as if you wouldn't subscribe? Okay, I'm just joking. So if you get this error, it just says it's an unknown route for our router. It hasn't been described yet. Now let's take a look into our pop-up. In the view, all we do is we say, let me just show the pop-up. It says start, and then it says we do have a controller. Let's take a look into the controller. It has a route for pop-up, but we just launched it, and on pop-up it actually should, let me just close this, should be a surprise. So on pop-up, it actually should output route set, which it isn't doing yet. That's what I wrote this manual override. And now you can see here in the background, it says pop-up. Now it finds the route, it triggers the route, and it outputs for us the route is set. That's what I have in here in the manual do manual, which simply says, get me the current hash and tell the router to run the current hash. If you have something like this in here, the saved/run, you have a couple of different hash parts. You might have to add something in here like hash part 1 and 2 and so on. So that's a totally different issue. For now, let's just say we want to run this manually, and we have to add it as an array, and we can run it. But that's probably not the best way to do it. let's take a look again in here. If I close it, I say show pop-up. Again, it won't show it because the route was triggered in the past, and typically a route in here won't grab an old hash. It's only listening to what is currently happening. So if we want to change that, we can simply add in here lazy true. Now let's rerun this. And in here you can see if I go set the route, now again we get this error because it's an unknown route for now. I say show pop-up, and you can see instantly it outputs, oh, I got a new route. Oh yeah, I can solve this. That's simply because we're saying in here lazy. You have to be careful with this, as the route overall will be triggered. So it will even trigger if you add to a different view the same route, it will be re-triggered, as you see in here. It's not only updating the current route in here, it's re-triggering it. So that's all you have to know about lazy routing. In a link down there, you will find the Fiddle, which I'm using today. Now I will add this to the Fiddle. I haven't saved it yet, so now everything you need to know about it you will find in there. In the comments, please let me know if you used this already in the past, if there are other probably problems you ran into with that, and if there is something else you would like to know about routing. Okay, so I wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and we will see each other in the next year. Bye bye.